I'm very excited to be here today, and I'm honored to have been asked to speak at such a great event. I have to admit, though, I was a little bit nervous, and this is why. I'm a basketball coach, and I'm not saying just a basketball coach, because I think what I do is very important, how I influence kids and work with kids. But I didn't know if I'd have something to share with this dialogue. And then I saw this quote: "Collaboration for student success. Education is team sport." Woohoo! I know about team sport. All right, so you might not hear another thing about education in my talk, but you're going to hear a lot about team sport. And hopefully you can pick up some ideas here about team sport and how you can transfer some collaboration and competing and how that works together. I love this picture of my husband and I. He was also my assistant coach. There's some joy on my face. It's Ankara, Turkey, Canada Day, 2012, 7:38 p.m. And we had just helped the Canadian national women's basketball team qualify for the Olympic Games in London. A big day. Best Canada Day ever, best hug ever. And we did it the hard way. We got the last possible berth on Canada Day, and I wouldn't do it any different. It was storybook. It was just so awesome. And Canada has qualified now again for the 2016 Olympics. But what I remember about that day was I'm a good crier at the best of times, but I didn't cry. I was just excited. I just had a fulfilled feeling, and I was most happy for the 12 women that were playing and represented Canada, and we're going to have a chance to call themselves Olympians. Not everybody gets a chance to call themselves that. An incredible day for those women. And I think it was one of the best collaborations I've been part of, but I don't think I ever would have had that experience had I not been a competitor. You're going to see a lot of quotes. Basketball coaches love quotes, motivational quotes. "Great teamwork is the only way we create the breakthroughs that define our careers." Pat Riley, Los Angeles Lakers former coach. There's all the people in that picture, the wonderful people that I got to collaborate with. Amazing sports psychologists, doctors, physiotherapists, administrators, and phenomenal female athletes. I'm lucky to have had that collaboration. And I think to be part of anything truly special, we must be able to collaborate. Those who can combine their talents with the talents of others are much more likely to achieve something amazing. And I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to compete and collaborate at the highest level in my sport. I want to collaborate with people who challenge my thinking, who push me to be the best I can be, and who expect the same from me in return. I make choices to be part of something, to stay or to move on, based on people's willingness to help me grow and to push me. And over my coaching career, I've had some amazing opportunities, and I think it's because I've collaborated and competed. One of those amazing opportunities was the Olympic Games, as I stated, and the opening ceremonies. It's amazing. Everything, all the pageantry, everything you would think. So as we're staging and we're getting ready to go in to the stadium in the London Olympics, our players are all in their lovely khakis and their Canada jacket, proud to wear it, and all the athletes are there, and they're trying to decide how they're going to get on TV. Well, I think if we walk on this side, the cameras will be up here in the community. I think if we want, one of our players, who was a bit crazy, said, "I think if we act really crazy, the cameras will come to us." And I was like, probably. And mostly our coaches were all sitting there going, "I really, really just hope they get on TV. I hope their friends and family can see this. This will be the most amazing thing." And we were not concerned. We did not want to be on TV. It wasn't important to us. My husband and I have never even taken a selfie. I think they're great, but I haven't quite figured out how to do it. So I haven't taken one. So this is what happened. That's a screenshot from CTV that a friend sent us, and that's my husband and I on TV. Didn't want to be there, but I'm telling you, if you ever get a chance to go to the Olympics and go to the opening ceremonies, I have the key. Hold hands, wave a flag. You're bound to be on TV. It's one of my great collaborations that I'm very, very proud of. I also get to collaborate with amazing young women and great coaches. I consider the work I do with young kids just as important as any work I did with the national team. I know firsthand that competing and collaborating are not mutually exclusive. Compete is not a dirty word. In fact, competing is the only way I know of to have great, great collaboration. It's not always pretty. Okay, it can get downright messy when you're challenging each other. Okay, pushing outside your comfort zone, challenging someone else's thinking, and it's hard. It can be downright messy, as I said, but it's also incredible when it all comes together. It's just fantastic. Collaboration doesn't just happen. I think a lot of people look and say, "Oh, well, we'll get together, collaboration, it's going to be great." It's not like that. You have to build culture. You have to have a set of core values that people are going to abide by. Everyone has to adopt the process, and today I think technology is a must. Each year, the national team, we have a tryout. So you can just imagine, there's 12 spots, and there's 18 to 20 women coming in to try out for this team. It's super competitive. Quite often, the athletes know exactly who the person across from them who they have to beat to get on the team. They know. So it's head-to-head for 3 or 4 days, being pushed 2-a-days, incredible meetings, so it's super competitive. Then 12 athletes are selected. Then the collaboration starts. So we have to have athletes that build trust, understand their roles, value everyone on the team, they buy into the vision, they communicate openly and honestly, they care about teammates. But you know what? The competing never stops. Because if it does stop, then we're not getting better. We have to push each other every single day. So I actually think once the 12 are picked, it actually gets more competitive. And when you're collaborating with others, they're counting on you. If you're going to get somewhere, all of you are going to get there, or none of you are going to get there. That's what it's all about. Another quote. If we are to persistently achieve our goals, teamwork is not a matter of choice, it's a strategic essential. And I really felt that when I coached at the national team level. Maybe we don't have the population of a Russia, of the US, we don't have the system they have, but could we be a better team? That was always our goal. Could we be the team that brings it all together? And I had the opportunity to work in this picture with 4 amazing people and others, but these 4 were all amazing. So when we're collaborating with others, we have to understand that we need to bring our best self. This was a picture that a sports psychologist from Toronto sent me. And I love this picture. So this is at the Olympic Games. One of our players is on the floor, and 4 of them are picking her up. For those of you who don't know basketball, 5 people on the court at a time. So 4, 1 picking up. And you know what? What's neat about this picture? We practice this. We do this in practice. And I love this. Unity is strength. Where there's teamwork and collaboration, wonderful things can be achieved. But there's got to be unity, and there's got to be collaboration, and there's got to be competition. Embrace the competition within yourself and with others. When you collaborate, you have to make a commitment to bring your best self. The greatest compliment I've ever had on any team that I've ever coached is that we're a team, that we play together, and I've always prided myself as a coach of bringing people together. That's why I love team sport. We were reaching for something special here on every team I coached from elementary to national team. Reaching for something special. You become interconnected, and you have to compete to get there. And I guess that's the beauty of collaboration. You get pushed and stretched to go where you would never go otherwise. I'd like to read you this poem. Pat Summitt, University of Tennessee women's basketball coach, carried this in her wallet. I thank my competitors. My competitors do more for me than my friends. My friends are too polite to point out my weaknesses, but my competitors go to great expense to tell me of them. My competitors are efficient and diligent. They make me search for ways to improve. This keeps me alert to hold on to what I have. If I had no competitors, I could be lazy, incompetent, even complacent. I need the discipline they enforce upon me. I thank my competitors. They have been good to me. So competition puts a light on things, right? It shows you your strengths and it shows you your weaknesses. And I think competing is a huge part of personal growth. If you're not competing, you're not growing. I often hear people say, I'm not a competitive person. I don't like competition. And I'm like, seriously? Is that even possible? No, really? You don't know what you're missing. But then I thought to myself, well, that's a bit rude. Possibly I should look at it from another side. And I thought, well, what is the definition of competition? So here's one that I think most of us would think of. To strive to gain or win something by defeating or establishing superiority over others who are trying to do the same. Yeah, that's competing. That's competing on game day. So if I'm a team sport coach, which I am, on game day, that's what we're doing. We're trying to beat the opponent. But you can't really control everything they're doing. So you know what? What about on the other days? The days where you're training, the players are running, lifting, shooting. What do you do on those days? Are you not competing? Of course you are. You're competing against your best self. And the definition of competing I shared earlier, I think it's narrow. It's not all about the competition. Though there's no doubt, I will have to say, a great competitor will bring out the best in you if you embrace competition. To me, competing means being better tomorrow than I was yesterday, and better yesterday than I was the day before. When we were preparing for the 2012 Olympic Games, we had Win the Day on the back of our practice jerseys. And that was because we hadn't qualified yet, so we were trying to qualify and trying to go. First time for Canada in 12 years, if we could do it. And the Win the Day just meant, let's have our Olympic performance every day. Like, we don't know if we're going to get there, but we can be our best or try to be our best every day. So that was our focus, trying to have our Olympic performance every single day that we trained. We didn't always, but we certainly came and tried to do that. And I feel like we need to encourage everyone to be a competitor, to compete fearlessly, compete honestly, compete openly, and to compete with our best self. Competing means striving to surpass the bars you've set for yourself, then setting some new ones. Competing means trying new things, taking on new challenges, and giving it your best when you do. Competing also means falling. It means failing, not always being at your best. It means to keep going, keep learning, keep growing, keep trying to be better. And it means developing the toughness and the resiliency to bounce back when you're not at your best. I think we should be encouraging everybody to compete. So maybe we just need to redefine it. So, as you heard, I coach the Canadian national team. I'm not bragging. And this was the picture of our team when we made it to the Olympic Games. This was the day we qualified, Canada Day in Ankara, Turkey, 2012. Pretty exciting time, some pretty happy women there. But you know what? I also coached the team that didn't qualify in 2004 for the Greek Olympics, and I also coached the team that didn't qualify for the Beijing Olympics in 2008. And those were devastating losses. It was a very tough time. But maybe we hadn't built culture. Maybe we weren't collaborating as well as we should be. Maybe we weren't good enough. Some of those women were part of that, and to see their faces in that day made everything worthwhile. The journey was worth it. What competing really means to me is that I won't allow myself to say, doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. I don't have to give my best. I just won't make an excuse to justify not trying. And I don't know where that comes from. Sometimes I think it's just your parents, your environment. It's wanting to be the best that you can be at that moment. You're not always your best, but you're trying. I want to be challenged to excel, so I embrace competition within myself, and I thank those I compete against. I want to collaborate with people who are competitive, people who are striving to be the best they can be, and therefore they'll help me be my best. Okay, how do you find these amazing moments, these amazing people? I don't know. I have no idea. But I will tell you a little story. I took my level 4 coaching certification, and I had a great professor, Roger Friesen. He's a sports psychologist, University of Fraser Valley. So our national team was training there at the University of Fraser Valley. And in walked Roger into the gym one day, and he said to me, Allison, it's great to see you and your team here. Love it. Wonderful you're on our campus. If there's anything I can do to help, let me know. You know one of those. If there's anything I can do, let me know. So I went back to the dorm room. 40 days I stayed in a dorm room. I went back to the dorm room, and about 2 in the morning, I said, I'm writing him an email. And I wrote him a long email saying, we need help. We were not a targeted sport. We did not get funding from Own the Podium. And I said, we need your help. So he came, did a session with our team, and 4 years later, he was with us for entire 4 years. He helped us get to the Olympic Games. So sometimes I think collaboration just means ask. Talk to someone you admire, someone you think does a great job. See if they have what you have, and you want to share some ideas. So it's really compete, connect, collaborate. That's how I think it works. You have to do that. And Roger really, our sports psychologist, he really made me appreciate the coaching, to be in the moment and enjoy the journey. And I think had he not come into my life and our team's life, I don't think I would have been able to take in the Olympic moment quite like I did. I don't think I knew how to be as mindful as I should have been, and he helped us, and he helped our players, and that's what was important. And I can tell you 5 or 6 stories like that, where someone came along, a high school teacher friend of mine, I asked him to come over and just kind of watch us and take some notes, and he did that, and it was great collaboration. So maybe just asking people. It's your choice as to whether or not you decide to embrace your inner competitor, not just to push yourself, but to push those around you. But not challenging yourself, not finding your best self, not stepping outside your comfort zone, well, I think a little bit of you dies every time you don't do that. I love this quote by Amy Poehler. I love Amy Poehler, but I really love this quote by her. As you navigate through the rest of your life, be open to collaboration. Find a group of people who challenge you and inspire you. Spend a lot of time with them. They'll change your life. It's not that hard. I think we can collaborate with people if we bring our competitive self. If you embrace competition and you want to bring your best self to everything you do, and your best self, you've got to put yourself out there. And I think sometimes that's difficult. And I know when I was young, I had a lot of trouble with collaboration. I was scared to collaborate. I think coaching is a profession where there's a lot of paranoia. And I think being paranoid in coaching is sort of typical, and it's because you're afraid someone's going to get an edge on you. So I didn't collaborate. But now, knowing as much as I know, I enjoy collaborating. But when I was young, I didn't. I was afraid to put myself out there, to take the risk. Maybe I thought I looked weak. Maybe I thought that people didn't think I had anything to share. But you know what? As soon as I started collaborating, I think all of my experiences were better. And the absolute best thing about collaboration, the best thing, have a look at these pictures. The best thing about collaboration is you get to share the joy of achieving with other people. And isn't that what it's all about? Thank you.